What is up, Robot Wars fans? Hardcore Kid here with a very special edition of the Hardcore Podcast. Today, I am joined once again by Otaku Nate.
And just picture Brock Lesnar botching that shooting star press at WrestleMania 19, and you'll have the perfect image for that song.
Lovely. Mm-hmm. So, no BattleBots episode this week since we are now in the midst of Shark Week.
I thought it was Shaq Week.
Shaq happens. I actually watched the episode where they put Shaq in a shark tank and he's swimming with like 30 or 40 sharks. And a baby shark actually gets right through the hole in the tank and is just in the tank with Shaq.
If Shaq came out of there with a clean dry suit, I'll be amazed.
Yeah. So no review of BattleBots this week. So what are we going to do?
Well, we've got an interview that I've actually been planning for some time. Get a little change of pace here. Our first ever proper interview on this show. Is this our first proper interview?
When have we ever had a proper interview?
Good point, Brandon. Joining us this week is a very special guest. She was on once before with Tommy Brewster and Ryan Beaver when we reviewed Monsoon's first episode. But we're going to be talking to her proper, not about BattleBots, but of an event that's going on in the UK this September, BuggleBots. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the people behind this event and the Robot Wars meme queen, Sarah Malyan.
Goodness gracious.
We can hear you, Sarah.
I can do it higher.
Okay.
Oh, take it easy.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
No. So, how is everything, Sarah?
Everything is cool, man. How's things with you guys?
We've been hanging in. We just had Pennsylvania Bot Blast this weekend, which is the 11th.
Fun.
Yeah, it's the 11th annual Pennsylvania Bot Blast event in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. I didn't go because I had a wedding, but you know what? What matters more, robots or family? Robots.
Right.
I thought you couldn't go because you're saving up for Battle Beach.
Oh, that too. I had arrangements, but
This weekend, I was at the inaugural Beetle event of Bristol Bot Builders, which was held at Bristol University, West of England, the Sunday just gone. And that was a super fun event. And we were able to trial some of the stuff we were using for BuggleBots actually at this event. So it went really well. We were feeling really positive after it. And we're super, super psyched for BuggleBots now.
So what is BuggleBots?
It's going to be a web series based on Robot Combat. Kind of it mixes some bits of Robot Wars, some bits of BattleBots, and some of its own stuff in between. The big difference being that it's obviously a much smaller weight class than the likes of Robot Wars and BattleBots, which obviously deal with heavyweights. BuggleBots is predominantly a beetle weight event, but we're also hoping to showcase some ant and flea stuff as well, hence the name BuggleBots. Because it's the bug weight club. Yay! I love a pun. So what we're filming in September is the main beetle weight competition, which will be the sort of the main feature of the show. It's 30 robots, so kind of similar to Robot Wars in that aspect, and also it will be 5 heats and a grand final, so 6 episodes. Again, a little bit like Robot Wars, but we throw in some little BattleBots elements in there, like the Roboteers are going to have like battle ready buttons, and we've got 2 refs, as you've seen. D-Team Rappers has stepped up to be one of them, and Shane Lale has from Team Mega Mouse on Robot Wars and Team Tilly on KFC Bots. Two. We have an amazing cast lineup actually, and not just the Roboteers competing, but other people who have agreed to get involved too. And it's been such an amazing community effort. Everyone's really pulling together, and I'm so excited. It's going to be fantastic.
We'll talk about the little guest list that you've assembled later on. But my question is, what made you decide to hold such an event, and how did this come about?
It was an immediate gut reaction to the BBC not renewing Robot Wars, which obviously really rocked the UK community.
Boo!
Boo here. it was especially gutting because we felt it was coming at a time when robot combat was really starting to get quite popular and can potentially bust out into the mainstream. And so yeah, it was like it really pulled the rug from under our feet, I guess. And so my attitude towards it was, well, if that TV channel, which won't be mentioned, won't give me robot fighting, then damn it, I'll make my own. I was just I was chatting with Ben, who is a fellow shunt posting admin, and we were sort of toying with an idea. We'd originally, some time ago, been planning a shunt posting meetup, which we were hoping would incorporate either an AskBots or Hebacon type tournament. We rolled with that idea, but thought, no, actually, let's make a proper thing of this. We could potentially make like a little web series based on a smaller weight class, because obviously the smaller weight classes are financially much more easier to deal with. A beta weight arena itself is expensive. It's more money than I care to think about, and anything above that, I mean, like a featherweight arena, that's thousands and thousands, so just not doable at all. So we knew we were going to have to work with the smaller weight classes, and he and I Skyped each other one night and just chatting, and we came up with this silly idea for BuggleBots. I came up with the name, and we sort of came up with a loose format, and then we thought, well, if we're going to do this, there's things we need roboteers who are going to participate, we need a venue, and we need an arena, because without either of those three we've got nothing. So we thought the first thing to do probably is see if any roboteers would be up for it. I'm on various group chats with roboteers and various sort of combat robotics related groups, so I had a lot of access to roboteers and people I could ask about this sort of thing. And so I asked in various group chats and groups and said, would anybody be up for participating in a sort of beta weight competition that was filmed for a web-based series? And the general response was really positive. Lots of people seemed really up for it, and sort of the general consensus was, hey, it's another place to fight, let's go. So we rolled with the idea, and then that's how I got involved with Joe. I know Joe anyway because I live near Bristol, and so Bristol Bot Builders is pretty local to me. He and I have been to a couple of events together, know each other, and he's got a lot of media experience, so he offered to get on board and be our media director, because he's got a lot of experience with that sort of thing. And so two became three. We are the official Buggle bosses, if you like, the three of us now. So we're running the show, and between us, we've pulled our individual talents together to sort of pull this off. And obviously, we've got the help of lots of other people. We've got practically a full filming crew going on, even though they're all volunteers. We have people driving over with bits of equipment. We have, for example, Jerome from the Netherlands, who's been on BattleBots and Robot Wars, is bringing over a whole load of filming equipment that we just otherwise wouldn't have access to, and he's driving it over from the Netherlands, which is just amazing.
Good luck.
Like a green screen turntable and stuff like that, and it's just stuff we just wouldn't have access to otherwise, and so it's amazing. Another Dutch person, Anita, is coming over all the way from the Netherlands to be on the judging panel. Just everyone's really pulled together for it, and it's been amazing. And then other crazy stuff happened, and it just got bigger than we ever imagined. Like when BattleBot shared it, we were sort of like, whoa.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, they also shared shunt posting in the same day, and I
Here we go.
Right. But Joe was somewhat sheltered from some of it because he only manages the BuggleBots page, but Ben and I both managed the BuggleBots page and the shunt posting page, and they did the BuggleBots post at 7 a.m. and the shunt posting one at about 5 o'clock in the evening, and my notifications exploded.
Nice.
I had to turn my phone off and just watch it on my screen, just going, another notification, another notification, another notification. Oh my god, it was amazing, but at the same time, it was like, could my phone stop exploding now, please?
Sort of resembling a Morse code transmission.
So, what makes BuggleBots different from other events of its type?
well, there are no other Beetleweight events that are being filmed for an entire series at the moment. And in the UK, there's no other robot fighting being filmed for anything, really. Cough, British TV channel. There's no robot fighting combat available on British TV anymore. And there is stuff on YouTube. A lot of the smaller events do tend to film their events and put the streams up, but it's not the same. They're not doing like pit interviews and stuff like that as well. And
it's not like Robo Games airing on Twitch.
No, it's nothing like that at all. It's literally, most of the videos are just, I mean, they're still great and they're enjoyable, but they're just the fights with a bit of text saying, who the competitors are and who the winner of the fight was. If they have commentary, then they'll try and include that, but not all events have commentary. But so we're the only ones doing that at the moment. We're putting on a proper post-production edit show that's hopefully got some amazing fights, got Robot Wars style pit interviews, and it's content that a lot of viewers, both UK and US in particular, will be very familiar with, because it incorporates a lot of similar elements of Robot Wars and BattleBots, but at the same time being completely unique because it's such a smaller weight class, and so entirely different sets of events that are going to happen and fights that are going to unfold.
Okay. So you pretty much told us a little bit about the format. If there's anything like to add, go ahead. But the other question that I have is, tell us a little about the selection process for the combatants, or the robots, if you will.
Our primary goal was to have a lot of diversity within the 30 bots we selected, because we really wanted BuggleBots to show people that anyone can do this sport. One of the great things about Beetleweights is they're an amazing starter class, because once you've shelled out the nasty bit of the radio gear, you can go on building Beetles for cheap, because of course you can use your transmitter for multiple bots. Once you've made the sort of initial horrible outlay of your radio gear, Beetles are a very affordable weight class. I mean, I'm a broke-ass single mum and I manage Beetles. If I can do it on my broke-ass, anyone can do it. So one of the things we wanted was diversity, but not just to show that anybody can do it. We want to appeal to lots of different viewers, the casual viewers, so people are looking at this and going, this is cheap and cheerful, I could get into this. Or alternatively, actually this robot looks really complicated and highly engineered, I'd love to do something like that. And on the other hand, you'll have the entertaining sort of derpy looking bots that have a bit of character and everybody loves them and they're crowd pleasers sort of thing. So we really wanted a bit of everything. So we've tried very much with the lineup we've got to sort of showcase that. So it's it's not just a spinner fest, or it's not just a flipper fest, and
no kit bots.
No kit bots.
We have one highly modified kit bot coming, but when you find out who that competitor is, you won't be disappointed. I am so excited for this competitor coming. I can't even. I genuinely am. Mm-hmm. And I don't get excited over kit bots normally. So.
And this is coming from somebody who's been fighting with a Weta kit for 5 years. So unless I can do something like maybe. I've actually been thinking of taking Mondo Bizarro and making it like putting this big wedge shape. Like I know Brandon Young, he actually modified his Weta kit into this weird looking, like it has the egg beater in the middle, but it's got drums on the side, kind of like Brutus or Ripto or any of those wedge spinners that you see online, and it looks really cool. Mm-hmm. And but I do hope to see as well as some good spinners and some good real powerful bots. I am interested in seeing some comedy entrants as well.
Yeah,
for example, at Bot Blast this past weekend, somebody made a Beetleweight version of Chomp from BattleBots.
Oh, that's porn with the toaster bot.
It was made out of a toaster. It was called Butter Side Down. It was awesome.
I wouldn't guess it was based on Chomp. Like, I see the overhead axe, my first thing is, oh god, it's Arnold A. Terminator, but it's a toaster instead of a water cooler.
You know what they say, old toasters toast.
Poor Zoe Stevenson.
Well, hey, Butterside down, one coolest robot. So that's all that matters.
That was a cool robot, to be fair. Although it made me think of Talkie Toaster from Red Dwarf. I don't know if as Americans you're familiar with Red Dwarf.
Anyone
Do you want
want
some
any toast? Oh, jinx.
Or crumpets?
So you're a waffle guy.
Yes. I didn't like that toaster.
Nobody did.
No. So, can you tell us about the personnel or some of the guests that are involved?
Yeah, he's got quite the guest list this year. Like, as we said.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so your hosting team is myself and Bob Horton from Shump Hosting. Bob is sort of like the main presenter who'll be welcoming people to the show and stuff like that, and he will be doing immediate post-match interviews. So imagine him as a kind of Craig Charles of Robot Wars, if you will. And then I'll be doing pit reports, and we have Stephen from Antweight Anarchy doing commentary alongside the Mad Scotsman that is Alistair Sutherland, or Sub, more commonly known. And so Mad Irishman and Mad Scotsman doing commentary. What more can you ask for?
Mad Northern Irishman.
It's going to be very excitable. That's an understatement, probably.
We definitely need characters.
More excited.
It's always good to have some personality on these shows, and
absolutely. And Stephen and Sub are certainly full of personality. I'm not sure which one of them's going to be more excited. So on the one hand, Sub is a roboteer who has seen a lot of nasty spinner hits before. On the other hand, he's a Mad Scotsman.
I'm just imagining him going crazy like that one Geordie football commentator who pulls out all these ridiculous metaphors.
Do you have any examples?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can do an imitation of his voice. Like I can do, okay.
Here we go.
Like a load of bacon in a frying pan, setting the kitchen on fire in a white hot grease fire. That man is scorching the field, and you're not gonna be putting him out.
Wow.
That was awesomely bad.
If anyone knows who that guy is, please let us know in the comments.
Did you say that was Geordie because you sounded Scottish?
I know that there's a difference between the Geordies and the Scots. It's just
One's in England and one's in Scotland.
Didn't that flash yourself?
Okay, so back to the cast. Okay, so our judging panel is the next interesting thing. We have Anita Vandermeer from the Dutch Robot Girls team who competed on Robot Wars with Tomahawk. So she's on our judging panel. We also have Shane Swan, or Swanee as he's known, from Dan Tomkier and Push to Exit.
I hope you took his hammer away.
And we also have Kane Aston from Team Behemoth, or Behemoth, as we're supposed to say, who also incidentally is the head of the FRA. So who better to have on the judging panel than the head of the FRA himself? Also, and I got finally on our cast, we also have the mighty, the lovely, and the most handsomest boy, according to Shump Hosting, Tim Roberts. We had a competition on Robot Wars Shump Hosting, and he was voted Robot Wars Shump Hosting most handsomest boy. He beat Will Bales in a close final, but he had about 30 more votes than Will Bales, so he took the win.
And
so he's on our referee panel, and we also have Shane Lale, who's been on Team Mega Mouse on Robot Wars and Team Tilly on Clash Bots, aka KFC Bots. And incidentally, actually, he is the generous, lovely, amazing person who has provided us with the arena. He is taking over the Kinematics events arena, and BuggleBots is going to be the debut event for that arena under Shane. So it's gonna be awesome, and I love the guy to the moon and back for donating us an arena and insurance too. It's a huge expense otherwise that we would be struggling to make, and so I think of all the people that are really pulling together for this, he is definitely one of the ones I am super grateful towards for this. It's amazing. Like once we got once we learned we had an arena and he said, yeah, it's available on those days, it's confirmed, you can have it. It was just like, this is it. We know it's going ahead now. Like, we've got to do this. There's no going back. BuggleBots is on. That was it. We started designing the application forms and getting all the paperwork done and getting ready to launch the application trailer. And yeah, so yeah, he means a lot to me right now. I love the dude.
Yeah, Tim's great. He's always very entertaining.
Yeah, we're hoping to have him on the podcast again alongside his partner in crime, Tommy.
Ah!
Good luck with that.
Just, so would you say this is the first event for Roboteers by Roboteers?
Yes, that is exactly the kind of event I wanted it to be. I'm going to be careful with what I say here because I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing other event organizers, because I'm not.
No.
But timing and preparation are things that Roboteers very frequently say is very frustrating with certain events. Basically, they feel that there isn't enough time to build, the application period is too short, or they're just generally not given enough notice. A lot of events happen in places of the country that aren't easily accessible to other Roboteers. You know, it's a very sparsely populated sport, even in this country, which is obviously a lot smaller than the US. But so for a lot of Roboteers, events are quite hard to get to. And for Roboteers who don't have a lot of money, that can take some preparation time, you know, like saving up for hotels and saving up for the petrol expense and stuff like that. And so a lot of Roboteers feel like they can't come to a lot of events because the notice is too short. And that's one thing I really wanted to improve on. And so, you know, we had a 2-month application period. And this also, in a way, very much benefited the newbies, because one thing that lets newbies down sometimes when they apply to an event is they don't have anything to show by the close of applications. And so event organizers are a little more reluctant to take on their bots because they don't have proven reliability. And we really wanted to give newbies a chance with BuggleBots because we wanted newbies on the show, because we want to show there is diversity in this sport and we want to show that, you know, it's for everyone. So that includes having old hands as well as newbies. So having that long application period was really helpful to the newbies because it meant that when applications opened, they could get their design in and let us know what they were planning. And then 2 months later, when the applications closed, they had more of a bot to show for it at the close of applications. And that seriously affected their chances when it came to us choosing the robots for the lineup. So I feel like a lot of people were quite pleased with that.
So can you tell us a little bit about the format?
Yeah, so the format is designed with the Roboteers in mind. We've designed it in such a way that they will get more than one fight, which is something that means quite a lot to Roboteers. A lot of us, including myself on Robot Wars, have been victim to, you know, going to an event, having one fight, losing and going home. And that's incredibly frustrating. So when we designed the format for the show, for the competition, we really wanted to make sure that Roboteers were getting more than one fight. And we've actually designed it so they're getting 3. In round 1, there'll be head-to-heads. So you have like A versus B, C versus D, E versus F. The winners of those head-to-heads will immediately progress to round 2. The losers will go into a redemption battle, which will be a melee, and then the winner will go through to round 2. And then all of the 3 robots who are eliminated from round 1 from all of the heats will go into a 10-way rumble at the end for a consolation. So if you're out in round 1, you've got 1 head-to-head, a 3-way melee, and a 10-way melee to look forward to. So
it's kind of like, it sounds like Series 10 of Robot Wars.
It's kind of like a mix of Series 10 mixed in with the first season of the Dutch Robot Wars. If you remember that, they had 3 first round matches and then a losers melee, and then it would go on to a regular match from there, kind of like that. It seems like a really interesting format, and I look forward to seeing how it turns out.
yeah, like I said, it sort of incorporates bits of Robot Wars and bits of BattleBots. So there'll be a lot of stuff in BuggleBots that existing Fighting Robots fans will be very familiar with. They'll be familiar with the kinds of formats. They'll be familiar with the kinds of weapons. They'll be familiar with refs and battle ready buttons and all that kind of stuff. So, but at the same time, putting our own unique touch on things because we're the only Bugway show going.
So where will we be able to watch the streams of this show?
It will be published to our YouTube channel, which is at BuggleBots. Pretty much all of our social media is at BuggleBots: Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So we're filming in September, and hopefully this week we should be releasing a new trailer, which will tell people where to get free audience tickets from if they want to come and watch the event. I advise people take them up quickly because due to the size of the venue, there are not many places. There's probably only about 40 to 50, so there really isn't many places at all. So we advise that people who want to come get in quick. But hopefully that should be going live this week. We're aiming to publish it in early December. It's likely to be aired 1 episode a week, so it will go on for 6 weeks. So you'll have something to tide you over the Christmas period. What a nice bunch of guys we are. We're giving you a Christmas present of a robot fighting show.
It's a Festivus miracle.
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, and I'll have the links to the Twitter, the Facebook, and the YouTube page in the description, so I'll make sure that everybody checks them out and subscribes, and it should be...
You can also visit the site, www.bugglebots.com, although there's not really much on it for people at the moment because applications are closed and our ticket system hasn't gone live yet, but bookmark it anyway, because there is other stuff on there you can have a look at. There's stuff about the cast, there's stuff about the rules, stuff about the format, and our trailers on the website, of course, if people want to go and watch that again.
Absolutely.
All right. And if this event is successful, will you do more in the future?
Yes, absolutely. There are already talks of BuggleBots 2 based on things that are happening, shall we say. I mean, the idea of the show is pretty popular, particularly among a lot of Roboteers who already compete in these classes. We've had a really positive reaction from other Roboteers and the community at large over it. And other people are already saying, you know, BuggleBots 2, BuggleBots 2. And we've had people who either didn't get into BuggleBots or who weren't able to apply or couldn't make it or whatever saying, oh, we really hope you do a BuggleBots 2. If you do one, I'm so coming to BuggleBots 2. And so, yeah, and we've talked about some ideas, you know, that it's obviously not many people are going to be familiar with the robots that are going to be on BuggleBots because obviously Beetleweights have never been showcased in this manner before. So there's going to be a lot of robots that a lot of people are going to be unfamiliar with. However, after BuggleBots 1 has aired, they'll be more notable, and there will be little rivalries going on, and there will be fights that people want to see. And so we're thinking of, you know, doing stuff like asking audiences, you know, what matchups would you like to see? You know, what grudge matches or redemption matches would you like to see? And then we can potentially incorporate that into some special episodes of BuggleBots 2 where we showcase popular fights, for example. Like, you know how like all the fanboys want the Razor Hypnodisc fight.
They still do to this day.
Yeah, I know. Or the likes of Carbide versus Tombstone, for example. You know, this is where we will give the fans an opportunity to say, hey, which fights would you like to see? And if we can pull them off, we'll try and pull them off.
And you give it to them.
Yeah, if you know, obviously, robots smashed up by the end of the competition, and we say, "Hey, could you do one more fight?" Maybe not. So there's always that. But you know, like I said, we are a show by the Roboteers for the Roboteers, but we're also putting on an entertaining show for the fans as well, and we want to listen to the fans because the fans are important too. You know, we want to listen to them and what they think works. You know. I know, obviously, Robot Wars ended up being cancelled, but you know, there's a really negative reaction to the Fog of War, for example. And Mentor did come out and say that, you know, if Series 11 goes ahead, there will be no Fog of War because it was hated by Roboteers and fans alike. So you know, we want to do that as well. We want to listen to stuff the fans say as well and try and incorporate that into our entertainment show because at the end of the day, we're there to entertain as well.
So, anything else to talk about to mention this event? Like, will the arena have any particular house spots or hazards or such?
It has some hazards. Yeah, we've largely tried to keep the arena clear of hazards. To be honest, this was again something that I went and asked the Roboteers about because there's obviously there's a lot of divided opinion on what constitutes a good arena. You know, for example, it would appear somewhat obvious to me that the Americans don't think much of the house robots and see them as a form of producer interference. So we don't have house robots on BuggleBots, and also it kind of doesn't work with the weight class either. You know, the arena is much smaller anyway, and so another robot in that arena just kind of gets in the way, to be honest.
Yeah.
We do have a pit, which will be activated by a pit button. We are currently in talks of a delay on that, though. We don't want, that opening within 2 seconds of the battle opening. So we're discussing either potentially having a first contact rule or a timed delay on it. We have one out of the arena zone, which is the opposite corner to the pit. The rest of the arena is high walled because we would like to try to prevent is one-hit KOs from vert spinners because it makes very boring fights.
I agree there.
This is stuff I approached Roboteers about, and the general vibe among the Roboteers was no house robots, high walls, pit is fine, and one small out of the arena zone is fine, because that way no bots are getting a particular advantage. So the flippers aren't disadvantaged by not having an out of the arena zone, but the spinners aren't disadvantaged by having the whole arena with an out of the arena zone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've gone with that because we thought it was the best compromise.
Well, I'm definitely impressed with how this event is shaping up to be. And
I really hope you guys find a lot of success on YouTube because, the two major shows, both Robot Wars and BattleBots, and I haven't watched any of the Chinese ones, but they tend to put a lot of focus on the heavyweights. The at-weights, outside of 2 fights in, the UK series, the classic series, we didn't see much of the insects, and it's a shame, because as much as I like the big heavyweights, insects are tons of fun. And this is someone who has never built a robot in his life.
They are. I mean, I was at Bristol Bot Builders 3 on Sunday, and I was judging for this, actually. It was my debut as judge, in fact. And so that meant I got a really good view, to be fair. And some of the fights they were brilliant. And in many ways ridiculous. One of my favourite fights of the event, actually, was a full-body spinner called Beetlejuice versus a little tank called 8-Bit Warrior. And Beetlejuice did what full-body spinners do gloriously in arenas that size and basically played Psycho Hockey Puck. It's an amazing fight. If there's a stream of it actually on YouTube if you look up BBB3. It's in the main competition and it's so funny. It just goes throughout the whole arena. And actually, the fight went pretty much the full 3 minutes until it ended up in the pit right at the end. But it was a pretty destructive fight without ending in 2 seconds, and it was hilarious because it was so fast and so crazy. I can't do it justice by explaining it to you over Skype, unfortunately. It's one of those things, you gotta be there and see it. But
I saw the clip. It looks like it was supposed to be a melty brain design. But
it is a brain design.
it was a little too melty.
The guy who drives it actually is part of Team Nuts too.
Oh, there you go.
Did a lot of the electronics on Nuts too. He and Rory both do melty brain technology.
Is it it was Shaky, wasn't it?
No, Shaky drove the Minibot. He doesn't do the melty brain technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Rory and Gareth, who's the owner of Beetlejuice. They do the melty brain stuff.
Ah, okay.
Nice. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing when BuggleBots comes out. Is there a exact date?
Nope. It, like I said, it's early December, and we will try and be getting it as early December as possible. It won't be sooner than December because we are in talks with a thing about a thing, and so December is when it's going to be. I can't say any more than that. But yes, there's a thing happening, and they would like us to stick with December because it works for both our purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the aim. But also, Joe, our director, is on holiday for a couple of weeks, not long after the filming, and which is something he had planned long ago. And to be honest, after all the work we've been doing, we're all going to deserve a holiday after BuggleBots. So none of us can begrudge a holiday.
Yeah, but it sounds like it should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope if I can find, maybe hopefully next year I can show up and maybe I'll actually have a robot that I have built myself. But yeah, definitely I'm definitely looking forward to it. How about you, Nate?
Oh, I'll be subscribed without question.
Yes, and we'll have links in the description for you to check out. Any last words? Any final comments? Nate?
Watch BuggleBots.
Watch BuggleBots.
Well, usually the final comments were reserved for our guest, so I don't have any final comments other than I'm hoping that it does well.
Yeah, me too.
Monsoon.
I really hope, because I'm really happy with how the beetle weights division has started to spread out a bit more, because I know for a while there wasn't a beetle weight class in the UK until they finally decided, with the popularity of the beetle weights in the US that we've been having. In fact, you know what one of the most popular weight classes of robot fighting today is that isn't heavyweights? It's beetle weights, because they're easier to work with. They can make some entertaining matches. They're visibly easy to see. And I think this will definitely help expand it a bit more in the UK and possibly elsewhere in Europe.
It's already growing, to be fair. It certainly isn't as popular as feathers or heavies over here, but it has had a pretty strong presence for a while with some reasonably regular events. It's had the Beetle Belt and plus kinematic events, the Beetle Champs and stuff as well. That's been going for a few years, but it definitely has got more popular since the announcement of BuggleBots. And also we've got a new events organizer on the block is Robo Dojo, which is based right up north, which the north of England is very, very grateful for right now, because it somewhat lacks in robot fighting events up there. I think the most northern event is Manchester, and Manchester's central England. So Scottish people have no hope and have fast time. And it's not ideal. So so Robo Dojo coming up is a really great thing for the north of England and for people in Scotland, because it's obviously a bit nearer than coming all the way down here. So there's that to watch out for as well. They incidentally ran their first event on Sunday as well. There's some footage you can check out from there, because everyone should support their live scene. So go watch it.
Yeah.
The more scene, the more it will grow.
Even though Robot Wars may be canceled, they have actually, seasons 8 through 10 have actually been picked up for viewing for the Science Channel in the US.
We'll discuss that for our next episode.
What is our next episode?
It's the Desperado tournament.
Oh yes, that's a format that they got going for the wild card. It's for robots that haven't done well in the tournament but still want to get into the final 16. And there are a few machines that you may notice here and there. I think we may be getting a surprise entrant in one of the matches.
Who's bought 56?
Who knows?
Yes, I've been wondering this. Who's bought 56? Oh, we will. Look out on social media. When BuggleBots does air, though, we'll give out dates and times and stuff. So it'll be like, Monday the something of December at 6 o'clock in the evening, for example. And there should be live discussion threads on the groups such as Combat Robotics, Unofficial Robot Wars, and Shunt Posting. Because obviously they will air at a specific time, so we're confident that there should be some live discussion threads, just like you get with Robot Wars and BattleBots when they air. So look out for those as well. They should be a bit of a giggle.
Well, if you ever want to see some dank memes or some real funny, wacky comedy related to Robot Wars and BattleBots, be sure to give Robot Wars Shunt Posting Facebook group a watch. It's
mayhem.
It is
carnage.
It is
John Reed and Eric.
It is anarchy. And Eric. Yeah.
And I'm one of the despots, so God help you.
Oh no. How many memes have there been of us so far?
Oh,
The only real memes people have of us is that we're boring.
We're boring. We got like -5 thumbs down on the videos.
And to all of you people who post comments saying that we're boring, all I have to say to you is, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I think that's probably gonna do it for this episode.
Yeah, but
I can't say I've seen any memes about you guys.
nah, we're not interesting at all.
I get memes to a potato by Dale.
Oh. Yeah, but I think that pretty much covers everything. Sarah,
Okay.
Sarah, any last shout outs? Shout outs?
Monsoon.
I'll take that as a yes.
Monsoon!
I go, wait.
Get back in your damn house. Boy, this is gone from a Ric Flair woo off to a Tom and Tim Racker's monsoon off.
Hey, I think you should both entertain me on this and do a BuggleBots. Come on.
BuggleBots.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know what, that's an idea, Brandon. Maybe we should do a BuggleBots review, but I think we should sign off for now.
Yeah, when the episodes come out, we'll definitely be doing some reviews of them.
Excellent.
We'll probably, because also when we're done with BattleBots, we'll probably do Robot Wars Extreme Warrior Season 2 reviews if you want to join us for those.
Can do.
I do have I have the playlists up. My YouTube channel is back after the anarchy that was copyright infringement a few months ago, but yeah, it's all good.
I'm sure there are plenty of BuggleBots Roboteers who would love to come on your podcast. For example, I can announce this because he's already announced it for himself, is Tom Brewster is competing on BuggleBots.
Yay!
I can announce him because he's already announced it. Not all of them have, so I've got to be careful which ones have and which ones haven't, but he definitely has. I can't say what he's competing with because he hasn't announced that, but he has officially announced that he's competing on BuggleBots. So yeah, so there will undoubtedly be plenty of Roboteers who'd love to come on your show and talk about their experience with it.
Well, if you've watched our show, we've gotten several on. We've got Jameson Go, we've had Ed Robinson twice, we've had Miles Pacala. We've had quite a few people on.
Well, you'll be glad to know, I can't say who because they haven't officially announced it, but we do have an American team coming to compete on BuggleBots.
Yay!
Oh, I can't wait.
So, you guys have someone to root for.
Woo!
USA.
We need to get our independence back.
This is why we lost the colonies.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, no, definitely there'll be plenty of Roboteers who'll be coming on your podcast. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a lot of fun having you on tonight, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fun as usual, boys.
and if you ever want to join us for more BattleBots episode reviews or such, you're always welcome to join us.
I will do. You need to set me and Will Bales up.
Well, Will Bales, I messaged the team and he says that they are interested.
Yeah, just gotta.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Just have to...
it will be the memeiest episode I think we'll have ever aired. So
I think it'll cross at me for putting him in a mankini on Shunt Posting, though.
Oh, God, no!
Oh, dear.
That is scarier than what happened to Tim after he won Handsomest Boy.
To be fair, you're not wrong.
Oh, jeez.
It's a monstrosity. This is why I don't take drugs.
Anyway.
Drug free. Until next time, I am the Hardcore Kid.
I'm Otaku Nate.
And I'm Sarah.
Peace out and cease.
Let's get small!
Bye!